And the time now is coming up on 8:50, and now we go to Larry Sparano with some thoughts. Hey there, how are you? What do you think?
Yeah, good morning, Ken. Actually, neoliberalism, it's really a blueprint of how to get super rich. It's trickle
Right.
down economics that we've seen since the Reagan administration. And the only thing that trickles down, of course, is tiny crumbs while the rich get richer and engorge themselves more and more.
Yeah. I mean, do you think people understand what it is, though? I mean, it's a term that gets thrown
Actually,
around.
yeah, it's a deceptive term because it sounds like the opposite. You know, that,
Right.
that yeah. So, that may even be, part of a plan to deceive the public that it's a
Yeah.
liberalization of society where it's just the opposite.
But then it's not, and it's really not a Democrat or Republican thing. I mean, they're both in it together, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, look, both parties can, I've said this time and time again when we discussed which party is doing what, the rights, the wrongs. It's all one party now. They're all feeding off the corporate dole. Yeah, their campaigns are funded by big corporations, so they do their bidding, and this
Yeah.
is how the corporations are ruling now. They've become the actual power of government.
Right.
The people we elect to office are just their minions.
Right.
It's getting worse and worse now. And all this baloney that if you deregulate, allow them to reinvest, they don't reinvest. All they do is buy back their own stock, and we've seen that time and time again. After the meltdown in 2008, even more recently, while all they do is use that money, the tax breaks that are given them, and the stimulus money to buy back their own stock, which brings up their stock and their packages, their compensation packages.
But I
So
mean,
it's a huge scheme.
Even Obama was a neoliberal.
Yeah, yeah. Look, Obama, the big liberal, the first black president, he was going to, be even-handed. Baloney. He was also a tool of the big corporations. That all sides are now. That's why we're in the state we're in. That's why all the jobs are outsourced to China. Both the Democrats and the Republicans allowed that to happen. In fact, NAFTA, which was the beginning of that, was signed into law by President Clinton, a Democrat. So both
Right.
sides are equally guilty with this.
But I mean, don't you think that if Bernie had, you know, been had a chance or had been elected, he was on the right track in terms of changing it?
Yeah, he was. He was. But of course, they painted him with a broad brush, tarred him as this crazy socialist, practically a bomb-throwing Bolshevik, and
Yeah.
and people bought it. People didn't understand that. I mean,
Yeah.
Social Security is socialism if you want to paint it with a broad brush.
Exactly. Right.
Where would we be without it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the public is duped on this.
Hey, well, listen. Since I got you here, let me ask you, what do you think about the polls? What you thinking on the latest polls?
Well, what are the latest? Were there more this morning? I'm not up on the latest.
No, it's still NBC, Siena College, and it's
Yeah.
I think, he's up by 14. But the new thing this morning is that he's leading in three of the
Sw-
states,
Swing
like
states.
states, yeah, swing
Yeah.
states, yeah.
Yeah, well, I
So
mean, if the polls are accurate, that is bad news for Trump.
the thing is, though, what I can't see is that why he could turn it around. I think if he just got into the coronavirus thing and just feign that he was trying to do something nationally I think people are really scared. I mean, that's the sense I get from up here anyway.
Well, yeah, I'm down in the Scranton area. It's kind of
Yeah,
it's a conservative Democratic area,
yeah,
and
yeah.
my reading here is that most people are frustrated with it. They think it's being overdone. They think the numbers are being fixed. So I know for a fact, and you could look it up yourself, that the hospitals now are being very indiscriminate on what they label coronavirus deaths because they get government reimbursements when they put somebody on a respirator, and it's really being very more and more loosely defined. So it's still undetermined, as I've said before, whether Trump is going to turn out to be right on this, that there isn't going to be a massive second wave. There may be more infections, but the key is whether there's more deaths. And so far, it's been just the opposite. The deaths are going down while the contagion is going up. So
But I
if he turns out to be right on this, that's a big boost for him. But that's I don't know if that will be right.
But I mean, hospitalizations, they're saying are going to start.
I didn't get that, Ken. They're saying what?
The hos- Accusations are going to start to come up pretty soon. People, you know, there's been the diagnosis. Now more and more people are going to end up in the hospital, which is
Well, that's what they're saying. And again, what will they end up in the hospital for? You know, will it actually be coronavirus cases that were related, or something that they label, intentionally mislabel as that? I mean, you know, we've talked to nurses in the area, and they say what's going on is really a sham. You know, some of it is true corona, the other is just being lumped together, and now they're lumping everybody together for in beds too. So
Yeah.
it's really, you know, it's not how they're portraying it. Now Fauci may be correct, but I think the jury is still out on that.
Yeah. All right, sir. We'll talk tomorrow. Thank you for coming on. Talk
All
to you
right,
later.
Ken. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.